Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode here on ESGNet, and welcome to NCAA 14 Highland Scotties Team Builder Dynasty here. And this is episode 13 as we're looking at the bye week. We're going to our bye week here as we just take a quick look at the last episode there. We just wrapped up the previous episode of the Highland Scotties sports talk there, and I'm getting ready for week 13 as we do have a bye week, and that means we will not be in action here this week. So all we're going to do really in this episode here is just pretty much just give you guys a little bit of a recap of the season so far here. We're looking at some stats here today and take a look here at some of the numbers there for our quarterback here, Flanagan, who's been just having a great year here. He's up for the Heisman right now. I think he's one of the finalists. I think we have a video of that here, but yeah, there you see 3,308 yards, 33 touchdowns there from him, as he is 217 out of 300 to my attempts, 12 interceptions there for him for the season, and there you see yards per game. About 300 yards there. Sacked 18 times this year and completed 67% of his passes. So, pretty great year there for him. He is very sharp there. There you see his backup Rush, who is the freshman redshirt there. And next year he will get a start, or probably, I wouldn't say that's necessarily a start, but he'll be there next year, as he's been very helpful, especially in that game there against Georgia. Where he stepped up and really got a very nice win there, winning that game just by a single point, getting the team down the field. And to be honest, so far here, I have to be quite honest here, I just was not expecting this to be happening. I am playing this on all Madden, or not all Madden, I guess you would be Heisman. And you know, some pretty challenging sliders, if you cannot tell, especially in that game there against actually two games, Washington State and then Georgia, and then I forgot what the other game was. There was a pretty close game there. You know, that's what I've been looking for, games like that of just teetering either left or right, and just had to make those good decisions there. Not saying every decision I made was a smart one, because trust me, there were some times there I'm just like scratching my head, like, okay, what was the point of me doing that? But for the most part here, it's been a lot of fun. You know, kind of getting out of character here. You know, with the setup, how we had, we had, I think, six total of six teams that we. I decided 6 of them out of the 12 games, 6 of them were going to be what do you call ranked opponents. I think next year. When we start next year's season, it won't be so. There won't be only 4. I think we'll do, and we'll do the schedule a little different here. We'll have 4 games and then a bye week, and then another 4 games, a bye week, and so on and so forth. Kind of do it that way so we have some time in there, so we don't have so many. Like here after this week here, after week 13, we have one more game in week 14, which will be Florida. And then we have another bye week before we get back to playing any more football. And if we win this game here against Florida, that means we get a shot at the national championship. Now, I'm not saying that playing the national championship, I should take a look here at some of the stats there, receiving wise. Hunter being our biggest contributor there, 1,630 or 1,603 yards there for this season. But yeah, for the most part here, I'm happy that we're going to play for the national championship, but I was really hoping maybe it was going to take us 3 seasons, maybe even 4 seasons to get that point. I really thought we was going to get at least a decent bowl game, and I think we would have if we lost that game against Georgia, which in a lot of ways, I was really kind of expecting the way they were playing against us. I'm like, okay, this could be the game that could get us, because we got by Washington State pretty easily. That last minute, and they screwed up on that touchdown there. dropping the ball. Georgia was the next one, and I thought, like, okay, this fairy tale is going to come to an end. But apparently, well, we still have one more game left, and it could come to an end here against Alabama. So we're looking forward to that. We'll try to see what we can do against Alabama. It's going to be a tough game, not going to be easy at all. And like I said, I've been playing on Heisman throughout the whole course of the season here, so it would really suck to lose that game, the very last game, going undefeated and then losing against them. But I guess that would be a team that I think Georgia will probably, or Alabama will probably respect us if they beat us. They're fair, in a pretty close game there. But we'll have to see here coming up in a few more episodes. But yeah, I just cannot believe we've been playing that well here. Sherman right there, one of the guys on defense there, just really stepped up. He's broken the school record for sacks in a game and also for a season. So big numbers there for him, for the big man there. 16 sacks there so far, and he's just killing it, you guys. It's been a lot of fun playing defensively with him, and I think we have another 2 more years with him unless he goes pro here after his sophomore year. We got quite a bit of sophomores coming up, so that means we'll have a lot of more juniors next year that we'll have to worry about, and that's going to be a big bummer for us if we have a lot of those good players there. Our sophomores come out, and it'll be out if they decide to stay here after this year. And come back next year. If they play really well next year, then we won't really have too much of a senior team, and so that's why I said, recruiting wise, it's gonna be really tough, which is fine. That's one thing that's one of the challenges I was really hoping for, and maybe in some ways that maybe that be the case. That would be the case for us that we have to deal with is having guys leave after the 2 years or 3 years there. Because remember, we don't have any juniors, we don't have any seniors, so it'll be a tough thing. Plus, too, recruiting. I have recruiting at Heisman also too. So even if we do win the national championship, it's still gonna be tough for us to bounce back and be a team that could do this all over again, especially this magical season that we're having so far. So. Maybe that is how this game is going to be made out to be, but I'm not for sure. We'll have to find out and see. But yeah, so far it's been a lot of fun, and I've been enjoying the characters and whatnot, and the players here on this team. And they're a gutsy team. Flanagan, for some reason, I just see him as a gunslinger. He's willing to take chances there. When he really shouldn't be, but at the same time, he's got a great arm on him. It just, if he does well enough, I think he'll be a character that I'll probably end up recreating and maybe next year's Madden, depending on how that turns out to be. We really haven't said too much, or they haven't really said too much about Madden 19 so far this year. It comes up because Madden really truly will be coming out here in 3 months, so hopefully we'll get some more news about that. I think maybe around E3, which is coming up here pretty soon. I think in another 2 weeks, I think E3 comes up. We'll have that to deal with, but hopefully they've revamped it and made it better, and it's gonna be a lot more better when it comes to individual players' careers. You can do a lot more, like you can with in 2K and in baseball. Take a look at our recruits here, and we'll go ahead and get into this right now. You see some of the recruits we have locked out of. So those are the ones that we're going to end up removing from. So Greenwood there from Colorado. There, we're going to get rid of him. Kyle Jones there, we're going to get rid of him. Aaron Tyson, he's still one of our front runners there. As you see, Alabama, he's from Warrensburg, Missouri, which is actually not far from where I'm at right now. He is still on our list there. We're going to really go after him after, even though Alabama, I think that might be the deciding factor for him is probably that game, the national championship, if we get to that point there. Kyle Jones, there you see another one. Ron Sanders, it's another young man that we're going to end up, we're going to have to end up let go after. We just didn't make the list, the final cut there for his teams. I noticed that a lot of Big 12 schools, like even some former Big 12 schools, but Big 12 schools like Oklahoma, and then some Big 10 schools or former Big 12 schools like Nebraska are in there. I see there's two guys right there, Ron Sanders and Marshall Rogers there. When I seen this, I'm like, oh, you dirty so-and-sos, you're going after my guys that I'm trying to go after. Which, I think that's kind of funny, and we could have some good story and stuff like that, recruiting wise and whatnot. And like I said, we'll see how that all plans out here in the next couple of weeks here. But Antonio Reed, Joe Ferguson, a couple other players there we still got a shot at. We just got to actually a couple of them want to come during the next bye week, which is in week 15. They want to come and visit the school, so we're going to set up some visits for them. And then you see Trey Thompson and McClellan there from Liberal, Kansas. He wants to show up and be a wide receiver there for us, so we're just really going headstrong with him and trying to get talking to him about being a part of our team and be a part of that wide receiver core there that we're trying to build up and trying to make stronger. And then, of course, there you see all the other guys there that we just signed this week. I think the first 3 or 4 there we just signed this week. The rest of them, of course, we've already seen here are already, if you've been following the series. They are assigned to the team, and we're ready to go. So a little bit of mixture of both offense and defense there. I think more on the offensive side there. I kind of want to get that offensive line going. Defense, if we can keep everybody, like I said earlier, if we can keep everybody for next year, then we have a great defense there that's going to be really top-notch. We just have to just be heavy-handed in reloading that for the next season coming up. So defensively, it'll probably be our thing next year, so we can make sure that we have enough guys to help us out there. So, but I think for right now, I think everybody's going to be pretty good. And we won't have too big of an issue when we do defensively there. I don't think that's going to be a big issue. There you see some of the players that I was just mentioning here, and some of them you see Phil Jackson, middle linebacker there. He is committed to our team, and so is Brandon Hawkins there, a wide receiver, and Chris Jones also has committed to us. So nice to see that going there for us as we move along here. Take a look at the top 25 poll going into week 13 here and see some of those teams. Of course, Highland, one of the top 2 schools there, battling for that BCS title. Remember, this is old school BCS. Remember, the top 2 teams play for the national championship. It's not like how it is now. You got the 4 teams playing that playoff there, and then and then 2 teams from those 4 get to play on to the national championship. A lot of different here than it is right now. Take a look at the additional details there. Excuse me. North Carolina number 18 last week, and also I forgot who the other team was there, but they both fall out of the top 25, and they'll be trying to fight their way back up there again here as we have 2 more weeks left in this regular season of football. Here is now the new top 25 there, as you see there. Highland, they're at number 2, Alabama at number 1, Washington and Louisville, they're right there in the top 4. Then you got Oklahoma, Kansas State, UCLA, and then so on and so forth. Nebraska, of course, Teddy Bonds' alma mater there, number 16. in the nation. Then Western Kentucky rounds out the top 25 for them. And for the BCS there also too, the BCS rankings there, as we're taking a look there. Nice to see those rankings there. Now look at the schedule here for week 13, as we have not yet simmed yet here for week 13, but some pretty good matchups there. You got some Oklahoma State Baylor, you got Wisconsin versus Minnesota, the Paul Bunyan Axe game there. Alabama going against Missouri. That could be a good game there. That could be an upset there if Missouri plays their cards right. They could upset Alabama and really shake things up. North Carolina and Florida State. Penn State and Nebraska is another great game here, which we'll see here in just a bit there. That's a rivalry game there. I believe it's a game of the week for a lot of people nationwide. They'll be able to see that game there. That is going to be a good game between those two teams right there. 7-3 Penn State and 8-2 Nebraska. I believe talking to Coach Teddy Bonds there, he kind of mentioned that was something that he was going to be watching there to see how his alma mater does against Penn State. And then you got other games here. You got the big classic rival there between not necessarily a rivalry, but a great game there. Oklahoma against Kansas State, both 9-1 and 6-1, and the winner of this is going to move on as the Big 12 champion there. So that's a lot of stakes on the line there. Auburn versus Florida State there. Florida State looking for a win there, as they've been, I think, have 3 straight going into that game. They'll be looking for a victory there against them. And then look at Washington versus Oregon State. They'll be facing off against each other in a great matchup there in the Pacific Northwest. Utah and Washington State in that game. And then that's it for your top 25 there. So we'll show you guys some bowl projections here, as we'll take a look here and see exactly what the bowl predictions look like. And we got some pretty good bowls here. Of course, there's like 50 begillion bowl games they have. Even now, even with the new bowl system they have now, there's still too many bowl games. But I think they're all supposed to be played within that first week of January, so thank goodness. But yeah, just take a look here, see if your favorite college or university is going to be in a bowl game that you enjoy there. And we'll see here, prediction wise, if we could right now, if the season would have ended today, we'd be playing against, of course, Alabama, not Oklahoma State, Alabama in the national championship game. There you see the Rose Bowl game, Nebraska, Washington there. K-State against UCFF in the Fiesta Bowl. Sugar Bowl, Louisville versus UCLA. And then Orange Bowl, NC State versus Oklahoma. Cotton Bowl, Georgia versus TCU. That would be a good game to watch. And finally, one more game here. Actually, 2 more games. You got Missouri and Central Michigan there. And finally here, if we get to it down here, the BCS National Championship game, Highland versus Alabama. So a lot of things are going to be in play. We got one more game left. That'll be against Florida. And we'll see how that is going to come out about here in the next episode. So in week 14, episode 14, we'll take on Florida. And it all depends on how they do against Auburn, because that is going to be a game right there that a lot of people are going to be wondering if that's going to be our trap game to finally knock us down a peg or two. Take a look at the Heisman watch, and there you see Baker Mayfield, of course, your top guy there. Flanagan for us there, and number 2. And then you see Hurts there for Bama, and Kason there for us again. So we got 2 guys there for the Heisman. We got to have a really good game there for those two guys. They're looking forward to this game against Florida. And then Gaskins there for Washington Huskies there to round out the top 5 there. The top 5, the finalists here for the Heisman Trophy there coming up at the end of the season. So we'll see how that goes here as we go ahead and wrap up this episode here. So far, like I said, it's been a great season so far here, and hopefully this Cinderella story will not come to a crashing, peeping halt of flames and brimstone. Hopefully we can finish off on a good note. But like I said, we have one more game left. That's against Florida, and we'll face them coming up in the next episode. So stay tuned for more NCAA football. Highland Scotties Team Builder Dynasty here on ESGNet. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more Highland Scotties here on ESGNet. Also, be a part of the ESGN Nation by following us on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, and Discord. Plus, if you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe to the channel for more great series like this and all the other great series we have here on the channel. And also, hit that bell for notifications so you guys can be notified when the next episode of this series or any other series here on the channel is uploaded to YouTube. So thank you guys again so much for watching, and as always, keep yourselves and each other healthy, and I will see you guys next time.